Glenda with AKA GK Fralin. And this is a different day. Okay, I have not got many pretty things to show off. No, I'm certainly not. As I'm just a mess. If my hair wasn't short, it'd probably be in tangles. And anyway, I have had a couple of nights where I just wasn't able to sleep, so then I slept during the day. But it wasn't because of it. Well, it was because of anxiety, but not because there wasn't a reason for it. My son burned his hand pretty bad, from what I understand. And this is the thing when you're a mom. You might know it's bad, or you might think it's bad. The way they described it, it was bad. It sounded like he burned his whole hand. And I think he probably did. But I get a call late on, I believe it was Friday night. Probably Saturday. But anyway. I get a call late, and they're telling it's my daughter-in-law, and she's telling me that she can't get him to calm down because he's hyperventilating. And she tells me about him burning his hand and how it happened. And he's had it in ice cold water for a while. And it's, I guess, about, 20 minutes or more. And it's still hurting. And she said he's hyperventilating and she can't get him to stop. And I said, well, he's in tremendous pain because a second-degree burn hurts worse than just about anything. I've had one twice. Well, I've had a couple of them on my hand and ended up soaking it in water. And what happens is your body's first shocked by the burn, then it's shocked by the cold. But anyway, the more I hear, the more I'm saying, please go to the hospital. Well, it's not so easy. It's easy for me to say. It's not so easy for them to do because they've got small children. And believe me, I do remember that it's not easy to take small children, even one or two at a time, and get them all bundled into a car, even though they didn't need bundling in the summer, but to get them and to put them in a car and belt them all in and get them all up to a hospital. So I have to keep calm. The nurse in me is telling me I have to keep calm because somebody has to have the cooler head here. And when I worked as a nurse, and even when my kids were growing up, I was calm in the crisis. It was after the crisis I fell apart. He started talking about the skin all of the skin on the back of his hand burned pretty much off. And I said, Tony, sounds like you've got a 3rd-degree burn. I said, you need to get to the hospital. Or you need to call a doctor, somebody. And when it's late like that, it's not so easy to get a hold of, but you can get a hold of them. Most emergency rooms, you call them and they can get a hold of a doctor and call something. And then more than likely, they're going to tell you to come in because they're like me. They can't actually see it. So my mind, everybody, we talk about writers and, well, people who are reading, you hope have this thing called the mind's eye. So he takes something for pain. He promises he'll call somebody. Whether or not he did, I don't know. He did call back. Now, I realize this is a little muddled in my mind because the time factor, the fact that it was late at night, mostly because of my own anxiety. Because your brain just kind of starts doing somersaults. But anyway, he called me back and he said, I'm sick, Mom. He said, it just hurts so bad. And he said, but I've been throwing up all over the place, and I never do that. Mom, what's wrong? I'm scared. He says, I never get sick. I said, Tony, your body's been through trauma. And this is what happens when you get something traumatic like a burn. That's especially a really painful burn. But if it's a third-degree burn, you definitely need to get into a doctor, because a third-degree burn, it takes the flesh, which is the protective, well, the flesh, the skin, which is the protective layer. So then you're open to infection. Anyway, so I'm hoping all night long that he did go to a doctor, or he got some rest somehow. But I don't sleep. And I texted the next morning, and what I got back was, he's fine. Now, especially when it's your son, or when they're that far away, he's fine doesn't mean a lot, other than you just have to take them at their word. Okay, so I'm waiting. Sooner or later, we'll hear back from him, and I will find out how things are. In the meantime, I'm trying to get that fear that sets in after the fact to settle down. Because you can only have the fear after the fact, because you're not hearing about it until after the fact. So I called my daughter yesterday to wish my granddaughter a happy birthday. And, well, she was out to the store with her dad, but which was probably just fine. I mean, it is just fine. I'm thinking of the situation. Anyway, I tell her what happened to her brother. We mothers talk like that. We tell one kid what happens to another kid, you know. Anyway, and so she was like, oh my gosh, Mom. And she says, well, we had something happen too. It's like, oh my gosh, now what? Evidently, there was a manhunt in their town. Their very small town. And they didn't know about it until their son called. He was out picking up a friend and found out about it, and because there were police cars all over town. So anyway, he called his mom. Mom, you should know this, because they may end up on our street looking for him. But anyway, because there aren't that many streets in that town. And pretty soon, she's telling me that then she hears barking, and the police dog has led the police to their back door. And, of course, he's following this guy's scent. So she answers the door, and she's like, you know, what's going on? Or she knows what's going on, but it's like, you know, and they say, we need to search your house. She says, please do, you know. So she's in there, and her and her husband and the kids are in the kitchen, because they can't move from the kitchen. They have to stay there while the entire house is searched. And so they do. They search the entire house. And then they find nothing. Thank goodness. So maybe the guy got to their back door and heard the dogs and ran, who knows. But anyway, so then they do continue to search their property. They find the man under their camper. And it's like, oh my Lord. Now to this point, still, today, this moment, still have no idea who the guy was. what they were after him for, except that he was running and they were after him. And so it's like, what the heck happened, you know? But what goes in your mind is what could have happened. What could have happened. And that's what my mind was going through. So I didn't sleep again. Because now my mind has got both of these children, and I'm waiting for the third one to drop. Because there's another kid across town, and I'm just hoping to gosh I don't get a call from there, which I didn't. Thank goodness. As of yet. Please don't. Please don't have anything happen to you. Anyway, so pray that my son's hand is okay, or gets okay, and that the pain gets tolerable. Because I haven't heard from them since then. And be thankful, or I am very thankful, that my daughter and her family didn't end up in a worse predicament. If it sounds like I've been telling this like I'm writing a story a little bit, it's because it's the only way I can get through it. This is probably about the fourth time I've tried to do a vlog to let you know why I'm not doing a real vlog. Well, it is a real vlog, but my usual vlog. It's because of all that's gone on, and I didn't sleep well, and I was asleep today, and a dear cousin texted me and was, I mean, when you only have a pet, that pet's very important. And she couldn't find her pet. And it's, it's not a young pet. And I don't like to just, because she's not in the greatest of health any more than I am. But, and she's a few years older. But I just, you're already in this situation, and I feel for her. I really, really feel for her, but I can't keep my eyes open. And so I can't really be there for her. And then I feel like a heel. And I know she'll say no reason to, but I do. I just feel like a bit of a heel. Because I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I kept falling asleep while I was texting. That is what has been going on. And that is why I'm not doing my usual vlog. And I'm hoping my kids don't get angry with me for talking about this. But I'm not giving you their names. But some of you will know who they are. Anyway, I'm just trying to explain. And I'm over time. So I love you. I care about you. Please give me some positive thoughts and help me to get over what the could have beens, or how much worse it could have been. The could have beens, the should have beens, the could have beens, those kind of beens. They're not good for you. So I love you and I care about you. And that's an honest truth, I do. So if you want to subscribe, I don't expect a thumbs up for this one. But anyway, tomorrow's another day and I'll see you then. Thank you.